Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you your weekly market update. If you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when we have new content coming out. We've been doing this for almost a year, not quite on the data part here, but the market updates, which I started by doing box openings and talking about general market trends, has been going on for almost the whole time, and we are approaching our 1 year anniversary in 9 days, so that's exciting. I'm recording this a day early just because my schedule is too busy to do it tomorrow before I have to get to work and do things for my professional day life, because that's a thing that you have to focus on in life sometimes. All right, so let's jump in. It's actually a pretty quiet week, so I don't think this will take too long. But we'll go through what we got here. So the WTR Unlimited boxes did jump up about 16% to 55 a box. We're starting to see volatility. I know we've talked about this in the past, where we get these kind of like boring, stable supply, stable demand, right, situations, and then we get some heavy volatility, and then we do the stepstone thing where it jumps up because the supply just starts to drain. I think we may be starting to see that here. We definitely saw it with ARC around the time of the supply announcement, or the out of print announcement for Unlimited. That happened. I think it happened with WTR as well. There just was a lot in storage. ARC was far more popular, I guess, and so sold out. And so we started to see the volatility immediately, and then it stepped up, and now it's kind of stepping down a little bit as the whole market's cooling. And speaking of which, it is down 10.5% to $85 a box for ARC Unlimited. So these two are sort of sitting in a phase of instability, a little volatility going on here. I imagine what's happening is we're reaching the end of both of their life cycles, but you're also in a downward market. So you have two different opposed forces coming into play when it comes to this particular product, or these two particular products, because they're out of print. There's still some supply. There's not a lot of supply. There's no more coming. The markets are cooling off. It's an older product. You have all these factors in play that essentially show that while it may be running out and it is a collectible, which is weird, it wasn't supposed to be, but it is. It's all coming together and creating a little bit of volatility around these products. So I think, called over the next 2 years, we will definitely see a increase in price, which is about right, because the products were released in 2019, 2020, like early 2020s, when most people got their hands on. Oh wait, the Unlimited was later. So yeah, it was 2020 then, I think, for both of them. And so you're now looking into 2023. What's Rudy always saying? 3 years, 3 to 5 years is your time frame for that uptick in price. I think that's what we're going to see. So that I think is totally reasonable. It's expected. At the 5 year period, we should see a significant jump in these prices because the supply will just be gone. That's assuming they don't reprint it. Now remember, Unlimited is always reprintable. And even more importantly, WTR is a fun starter set for people, and they've done special WTR events around it, so they could print more of WTR. That's just a thing, right? So just be aware of that. I'm not worried about it, but I also don't hold large positions in Unlimited. I don't view it as a collectible product, because I trust when Elsa says something isn't supposed to be collectible, that it's not going to be collectible. That said, they did change their mind on their model and everything, so maybe it will be collectible someday. I do have some. I just don't have a lot. I don't trust it to be something that they're not going to reprint specifically. But to each his own. None of this is financial advice, as always. Only other thing that's interesting is ARC cases jumped 11%. So your Unlimited box went down 10.5%, but the case jumped. So I guess we're probably reaching back into a premium. We'll take a look at the charts on this one, but that's a little interesting that they're moving in opposite directions at almost the exact same clip. So we'll see what that looks like on the chart. I'm guessing what happens. We had the arbitrage opportunity last week, and this is a correction back into a norm. But we'll look at the chart and see. First edition, only thing of note was Mon. Actually, everything sat still for first edition boxes. Like, that's wild. I don't know that we've ever had it this quiet, man, back here. Yeah, but this wasn't. That's the thing. It was still moving, right? You still had small movements. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had it where all the prices are exactly the same, 0% down the line, except for Mon. I don't know what to take of that. Like that's weird. But it definitely happened. I think the markets are just quieting as a whole, and I'm starting to see this in some of the other things. We'll talk about that in a second, though. Mon 16.6%. It jumped. That's because it was at those crazy prices last week. It was down to 85 a box for a first edition product. I mean, I know people hate Mon, but it's not that bad. So obviously this correction was due, and it's just back to where it had been, right? It was this 103 to 109 range for 3 weeks. It was 105 back here. So I'm thinking the 100-ish price range is about where we're going to settle, but we'll see how it plays out over time. We'll look at the charts too, see if they give us any other hints. And then the final thing is Mon. Again, cases barely moved. These ones did a little bit at least, so it doesn't feel like it's some weird artificial market like that. But Mon is the only thing that was notable, down 6.7%. So again, we have this inversion of movement between the cases and the boxes. Very strange. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the singles. Again, we're basically seeing the same thing we've seen every week. It's starting to get boring. I cannot wait for a new set so we can see new best-selling stuff. It's coming soon. What we have, like 2 months? Yeah, about 2 months until we get the new set. They're starting to leak the reveals. I don't know if you guys saw that Spicy Wizard card, but it looks really good. So that's going to be fun. I'm not sure if it works well in Icelander because it's a red 1 cost. I can see it being good. I just don't know if its value is better than the other reds that you'd want to play. And my gut says no, and that this is really made for like a Kano, and obviously the Emperor. But I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it as we get more of the cards from the set. Because obviously, I have a feeling that this set's going to do a lot of that kind of funky modification to arcane, modification to various things. It just feels like that's an ideal thing for a cross-class set, where a guy's a wizard warrior, right? So I really do think we'll see a bunch of that stuff, and that will change the dynamics of how you build all these decks. It's going to be very exciting. I'm looking forward to the new meta. I like supplemental sets. They always shake up the meta so much. I'm a big fan, and I actually enjoy Blitz. I know a lot of people don't like Blitz, but I like Blitz, so for Blitz, it's even more dynamic. It always is, but then you throw in a whole new set for every class, and it just changes it drastically, which is a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to Dynasty. I can't wait for that. So yeah, let's talk about these cards here. Nothing new. Stormstriders are hotness. They're going to stay the hotness now that we're seeing new wizard cards. I think they'll probably continue to be super hot and maybe even go higher. E-Strike is chilling quite naturally in its normal space of around $20. The Flamescale Furnace came down a little bit, and the Cold Foil is coming down relatively, a little bit drastically. You can see it's down at 164. I'm starting to feel that we're getting the dive at the end of the hype cycle. So boredom into the new set, and then the new set. Assuming this doesn't work very well with the Emperor or other hotness in the set, then I imagine this will have its low, around the other side. I'm still waiting. Still haven't bought all my cold foils yet. I'm still following the plan, sticking with the plan. The only thing was the dragons that I did differently. We'll talk about that in a second too. So here's Crown. It's upticking, so I'm guessing people are seeing this as very good. No matter what. So this one I'm probably gonna miss on. It's gonna hurt because I'm gonna pay a premium on this instead of paying back here, on the J. Although this was a really low J, and it's hard to say. Really low J. It's hard to say exactly how things were gonna go, and it's a new set, 2.0. The whole point is to experiment and see what works and what doesn't. So I'll probably miss the bottom on the helmet, the crown rather, of Providence, because it's the new Arcanite skull cap basically. But I'm okay with that. I mean, I have a rainbow foil for functionality, so I'm not gonna cry. I did pick up this Drakai, Blood of Drakai rainbow foil for functionality with the Emperor, because I'll probably play it with the Emperor. I do think I'll play the Emperor. He seems fun. And that's just a rainbow foil, though. I haven't picked up the cold foil yet. Cold foil's barely moved. It's still just rock solid 300. I really think they hit it right with this 2.0 and the rarity cards, which hopefully will get collectors back in and interested again. One of the things that's worth looking at, if I can get there. Oh no, the filters are all messed up. Shoot. Let's see if I can do it this way. is the dragon. So I watched this video the other day. I hate some of the TCG player stuff. That's fine. I watched this video the other day by Salty Whale, and essentially what happened was he bought $10,000 worth of those Marvel Dragons. So while I did the one, I guess that first quote unquote buyout is way too early. It wasn't really a buyout. It wasn't intended to be a buyout. We had a video on that. Go back and look at the content. But it did cause price spikes and all sorts of weirdness in the market. I mean, he seemed to have jumped in consistently after the fact. Now, he even says, like, this isn't a buyout. I just am getting myself in a position. Like, he's buying regularly every week, buying up as many of the Marvel Dragons as he can. And the prices are kind of crazy on it. Actually, let me see if I can figure out. The problem is I have this shrunk so the UI isn't a pain in the butt, but then it does this, and it becomes a pain in the butt. Let's go to Dragons. There we go. Let's just get rid of that sidebar. All right. And this is happening. 270. The other day there was 0 listings. 204. I think there was down to like 3 listings. Tumultai 207, 11 listings. So he is essentially putting an upward pressure on these prices. Now, we don't know if this is a good idea. And again, this isn't financial advice at all. I have no idea. I don't think anyone knows, except for LSS. We don't know if they're going to put another wave out. We have seen and heard that distributors are running out. They don't seem to have any that's for sale to their regular customers. We talked about this on the podcast, I believe. There is some that have some in stock that they're holding for new customers so that they can supply any new sign-ons to distribution. But the reality is there's not a whole lot out there. Our shop was unable to get some, so we're drafting older products. They're limiting this, right? They're not going to have this. And that means we're going to run out of draftable stuff for 6 months. So if 2.0 model is this, we're going to reach a point where the older stuff won't be available for drafting, right? Because we ended up, our shop ended up doing WTR. I wasn't there. Tommy was there. We talked about this on the podcast. But did WTR because they didn't have Uprising to draft. So, and that was fun, change of pace, sure. But the reality is if we have a draft product, once every year, essentially, because every other set is the plan, right? Supplemental draft, right? I'm sorry, I guess it's twice a year, right? Yeah, twice a year. There's 4 sets a year, give or take. And so it'd be, every 6 months or so, you'll have a new set. And the supply runs out of the draftable product before you even get to the supplemental set. Then that's probably too thin, right? Because what that's doing is it means you're going back to draft other products, but eventually that stuff will run out, like we talked about. So I know we're oversupplied on tails and stuff for a while now, but eventually we'll get to a point where the back-looking sets are gone. Like imagine 2 or 3 draftable sets going forward. There won't be Uprising because there's already not Uprising, right? So they're not going to be able to look back so much, at least as we see it today. Now, this is my thought on this, and I don't know. This is just speculation. I'm thinking that there'll be another wave of Uprising, and Tommy kind of convinced me of this, and just thinking about it, it makes the most sense. They want to see stability in the secondary market. They want to see prices hold up so their map floor isn't a requirement, right? So that it's a natural floor, and you do that by managing supply, and you can manage supply by doing waves. Now, if they're big enough and they have enough weight with their printers, then they can do stuff like this. And I think Pokemon does this. Other card games do this, but they have to have enough weight, enough like stability, because for a printer it's risky. Like, are you gonna pay me? Like, am I gonna get, is it worth putting the printer space aside, or is something gonna disrupt your world and then suddenly you're gonna cancel your print and I have all this printer space that I can't fill with other products because it was reserved for 6 months? You see what I'm saying? So there's these business factors that come into play. I think they're at the point where they're stable enough and large enough where they can say, yes, we will have multiple waves. Yes, you can reserve this ahead of time. Yes, this does work out. I think they're going to work on the data. I don't think it will be perfect. Like, this may be too far one way where it's just not quite enough for the growth they had. And then next time it may be a little bit too much. But that's natural and that's normal. That's fine. I mean, Pokemon still adjust back and forth all the time, right? If I recall correctly, like Origins, they just cut right out. So the idea is that they're going to try to be dynamic, right? That does sound like what was said in the thing. And then we'll see on the back end how it ends up playing out. but maybe they underprinted a little bit on this first wave, and then they have another wave coming out in a few months, maybe around the supplemental time, so that you can continue drafting even though the supplemental's out. That might make sense. But the point being is that these dragons, they keep populating, and while the price is elevated, and I think they'll maintain elevation because they are relatively rare. Someone did the math. I think it was Salty Whale that I watched the video that said these are as rare as cold foil legendaries from Monarch, maybe something like that. They looked at it, or maybe it was the Fable. Yeah, I think it was the Fable. It's as common as the Library of Solana, which we all know is rare. Something like that. So they looked at the numbers, and that's what they came to. I don't know if that's true. Again, speculation on a guy who speculates, right? This is this is like fourth party sort of information, so very much take it with a grain of salt and not financial advice. But point being, they are rare. They are worth something. I think 200 is a reasonable price point at this stage, right? Like, they are a beautiful piece of art, and they're worth it for that. They're not needed for the game, so this doesn't affect the players. I like the fact that that's a thing, right? So I think they're on the right track. The question is how they do these waves, because if they don't print enough, then these are going to spike in crazy pricing. We won't have a draft product for another 6 months or so. A long time, too long, too long. So we got to figure out how we get the balance between the drafting and the maintaining prices of things and stuff. But it feels like they're on the right track. They might not have it perfect yet, but they're going to keep dynamically adjusting it, and I like it. So I'm pleased with that. I'm happy about my dragons. I still think I have the most expensive dragon by, I don't remember which one it was that I bought that I had. Maybe it was Tomotai. I don't remember. I think it was like 250 or something. And last time I looked there, no one had paid for the highest. So yes, I have a special record of buying the most expensive dragon ever. Really silly, but that's fine. Like I said, it's for my art collection. So that was the most important part for me. The other dragons are increasing in price. They're closer to 40s where they were closer to 20s before. Couple of strange ones. Well, I don't think it's strange because seems to be super, super rare. This was over 200 not that long ago, and when I was looking, I think it was like 90 or 80. I did manage to pick up one around that price, and then the Ashwing I actually pulled, so I'm super pleased about that. This is the first like super valuable card that I've really pulled and been able to hold on to and watch the price go up the whole time. It's not true. I've pulled a few rare cards, but I never seem to get like the Fables and stuff like Tommy. So anyways, I think 2.0 is on the right track, assuming everything continues to operate successfully with the game, which I have no reason not to see that happening. Then we'll continue to see this like collector bit get more attractive, and I think in the long run, what that will do is cards from this set on will be valuable. Now, Monarch, all the rest, the stuff that was overprinted, they're probably going to be a struggle, right? That's going to be your alliances and all that stuff from Magic era, Ice Age, etc., where it was just overprinted. No one realized. Now, how overprinted, we don't know until we get to the point of understanding the actual size of the player base, and of course the actual print runs. But it is a factor to think about. So anyways, I just thought that was interesting. The Salty Whale video was particularly telling because I was wondering why these were going up so much, and he's buying. He wants a position. He loves the dragons. He's like, these are so cool. He even put in House of Dragons theme music or Game of Thrones theme music over top of his intro, which I thought was hilarious. So he's into it. I love it. I mean, collect things you love, right? And that's what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I care about this more than like the Fable or the other stuff. Although these are, very good prices. I mean, they're niche, but like, look, $83 for a cold foil of something that we know is rare, right? Because these are rare, and the cold foils are not as common. It's interesting that the cold foils are so cheap. So I mean, that's a valuable thing to think about. I may pick up another set of these common ones. I picked up this one. I didn't get this. Actually, you know what? I think I only picked up this because I didn't have it I needed for my Icelander deck. So maybe these cheaper ones I'll buy a couple sets of, because at some point they're going to go up because they will be valuable in another situation. This one in particular might be really good for what's his name? Oh God, the Emperor, whatever his name is, can't even remember. and I'm not sure because I'm not sure what weapon he has. But if he uses like because this is only for wands, right? Two energy. Yeah, staff ability. Yeah, if he has a staff that he uses, maybe he has one-handed staff and a one-handed sword. Wouldn't that be cool? If he has a staff, this will probably be really great, especially into any sort of arcane. Well, obviously only into any arcane damaging people like other emperors, like rune blades, like oh god, what if we get a new rune blade? That'd be awesome. Anyways, Tommy hates it when I mention new rune blades. Anyway, sorry, rambled enough. Let's get onto the charts. I'm excited for the new set, and I like what's happening with 2.0, so I just thought I'd express that. All right, let's go. What do we got? WTR cases. Yeah, we're stabilizing it. It does look like it. So what do we say? Volatility, then a new step on the ladder or the stairs. It looks like we're getting there. We'll see. This is too early to call with this chart. I wouldn't say that's a definite, but it's a thing. We're tightening up on this premium here, which is probably for the better because extreme premiums don't make much sense for an unlimited case, in my opinion. This is popping back up. So we did have the decline and then the reversal. It went too low. And then we went from an arbitrage opportunity up to a premium, but not much, $4. Oh no, actually that's $14. That's a pretty significant premium jump. So that's kind of interesting. All right, crew unlimited, instability, still trying to find its world. I think these supplemental sets, particularly this unlimited version of it, is gonna have a hard time in the future because they seem to keep getting more powerful. We'll see with this next one, but they've gotten more powerful, and so the older ones seem less interesting, right? Like if you're going to choose a supplemental, I think EVR is better because it covers new classes that crew didn't, and it's really powerful stuff in there. If I was going to pick one, I'd pick EVR. Now, granted, from a collector standpoint, obviously crew's rarer, but this is a player market. We've talked about that a million times, so I think EVR is the better bet there. But it's just interesting to see how this is going to play out, especially with the unlimited. The first edition obviously is special because limited print run and you got the cold foils and all that stuff. And just decline on Mon. Nothing special here. Deep decline. This is slower. Interesting. It's not as fast if you look at this for the box price. Yeah, this is all the unlimited though. No one cares about Mon Unlimited, do they? I'm sure somebody does, but not right now. Everything's banned from it except for Olivia and Bolton, and I don't think they're the most popular. Tales of Aria Unlimited. This doesn't exist. Does this even exist? I was looking at I don't remember what it was. I was looking at the prices of something, and there was less Tales of Aria cards than there were. I'm sorry, unlimited cards than there were the first edition on the market. So that's actually rare to get unlimited something. I forget what the card was, but I was talking with Tommy, I believe, and it was crazy that there's just less available. Okay, WTR is boring. Nothing special here. Although I did see it is still a best-selling. It's in the top page, so people are buying these boxes. It seems that they're moving pretty, I wouldn't say fast, but for the dollar value, they're moving significantly. Arc, boring as well. It's fine by me. Crew is ticking back up. We had a nice little lull there for a second. Same with the box prices, back to parity. This is interesting. So we lost our premium on the cases. We're now at parity, and it seems to be stabilizing there. Look at this. Look how it tightened. We got a dip, then it tightened, and it's 2 weeks in a row. Oof, that's wild. Mon dropping off, as we said on the thing, and we're losing our premium. We did not get back to the because I speculated that we might have been in a arbitrage opportunity, and then this was getting us back to normal. Nope, we are just losing the premium quickly, so we're coming into a tightening of that band, which is interesting. Tales of Aria, nothing special here, ticking up a little bit at the end, but you don't hold your breath on that with Tales because volatility is a thing. Everfest, we're still stabilizing in the post map or wider map, the 35% map region. So I think that's what we'll see here. And then the volatility with the boxes around that. You do have an opportunity. This one's $6, so I'm not excited about that, but it's there. Uprising, dropping down, staying flat. This is just map. This is just sitting in map, so nothing special there. So, anyways, that's it for the charts and the content today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, leave a comment or hit the like button or subscribe or ring a bell or whatever. Hope to see you at the 1 year anniversary. I think we're going to do a special, it may be a live stream, it may not be. We're going to do something on Friday the 30th. Gonna crack a box and give it away. We haven't quite figured out all the details. We'll get those to you probably this weekend. But yeah, I hope you're available. So put that in your calendar if you want to join us on stream and chat with us while we do what we do. And hope you guys are having a good day out there, cracking packs and playing games. And until next time, have a good one.